Today, the man accused of abducting a Beaver Dam teenager is due in court. The charges he's facing.
Plus, time is running out to get a real ID. We'll tell you why you need one. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3. Now this morning on a rainy Thursday. I'm Kyrie Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so we've got this rain just for today and tomorrow. After that,
smooth sailing.
Oh, man.
So I've been looking forward to.
Just in time for the weekend. You hear it, though, that rain outside. That's where Savannah is. A little pitter-patter on the umbrella this morning, huh?
Yeah, definitely a lot of rain, and that's heavy and widespread, not only across Dane County, but a lot of southern Wisconsin waking up to a pretty active start this morning. This will continue through mid-morning. By lunchtime, I think those will break up a little bit, but we're still going to see some heavy rain and scattered showers. By the evening, all of that is going to ramp up or move out of here, and then it'll ramp up again later tonight into early Friday morning. 50s, near 50-degree temperatures, most of us waking up in the mid to upper 40s, but there are a couple of 50s, and that's what everyone will see later today. So as a whole, it will be cooler than normal. It's not necessarily going to be breezy, but not the best start to May. May is here, and we're starting off pretty active, but we have a lot of better days in the forecast. We'll talk about that coming up.
Thank you, Savannah. This morning, the man accused of abducting a Beaver Dam teenager is scheduled to appear in court. 40-year-old Gary Day faces several felony charges, including 2 counts of child enticement and 2 counts of child abduction. Those charges stem from allegedly taking 17-year-old Sophia Franklin out of Wisconsin. She was 16 at the time. Day's bond is set at $2 million. Now, Franklin, the teenager, was last seen at her home February 2nd. Day was last seen a day after that. Their disappearance triggered a multi-state Amber Alert. Then on April 2nd, someone spotted them at a truck stop near Omaha, Nebraska. Day is suspected to be the father of Franklin's unborn child. She is 5 months pregnant.
In Florida, a man who allegedly communicated with the Abundant Life Christian School shooter is now in custody. Federal investigators say Damian Allen allegedly conspired with others online to commit mass violence. After searching his home, deputies in Palm Beach County found police uniforms, 18 firearms, grenades, and more than 12,000 rounds of ammunition.
This is disturbing that somebody can get these type of items off the internet. It baffles me, to be honest with you. But this is a dangerous individual. Can you imagine the damage he would have done with 12,000 rounds of ammunition and fully automatic ARs?
The arrest affidavit says the 15-year-old who opened fire at ALCS in December communicated with Allen on TikTok for months.
The state says 64% of Wisconsin folks have that secured real ID, but if you haven't, time's running out. The deadline is May 7th. If by that deadline you don't have a real ID or another form like a passport, you could face delays at airport security. There's not an additional fee to get a real ID when you renew your driver's license, but if you're upgrading outside of your driver's license renewal, you'll have to pay a $14 fee. Again, that deadline is May 7th.
If you're traveling with Southwest soon, be aware of upcoming changes. The days of choose your own seat and bags fly free are about to end. In late May, most passengers will have to pay to check a bag. The airline says frequent flyers and certain fare levels will still get the perk for free. Starting today, the airline will introduce planes with a new cabin. This will offer extra legroom.
And Chicago Rockford International announcing the return of some popular destinations along with a new international route starting on May 22nd. RFD is bringing back its direct flights to Nashville. It's a seasonal service that'll operate Thursdays and Sundays. The airport's also bringing back flights to Cancun and Punta Cana. And a new route to Huatulco, Mexico is going to be replacing flights to Costa Rica. Ticket sales for international flights will begin this Saturday.
President Trump says he could bring a wrongfully deported man back, but says he won't. It contradicts previous statements from the administration that the U.S. does not have the ability to bring Kilmar Abrigo Garcia back. The administration wrongfully deported Abrigo Garcia to El Salvador in March. The deportation ignored a 2019 ruling that he couldn't be sent back to the country because his life would be in danger.
A Columbia University student who was taken into custody by ICE is celebrating his freedom. A federal judge ordered Mohsen Madawi to be released from custody pending the resolution of his case. The 34-year-old was one of the students leading pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University. The Trump administration is still arguing for his deportation, though. They claim his presence and activities in the U.S. threaten American foreign policy. ICE agents originally arrested Madawi at what was supposed to be a citizenship interview.
Detainees at an immigrant detention center in Texas were seen forming SOS with their bodies. Reuters captured the scene with a drone. 10 days earlier, dozens of Venezuelan detainees at the center were given notices detailing that they were part of the gang Tren de Aragua. The notice said they would be subject to deportation under the Enemy Aliens Act. Their deportations later that day were temporarily blocked. But the detainees at the center still face potential deportation if the Supreme Court lifts that block.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris delivering her first major speech since losing the 2024 presidential election. Within it were her most extensive public remarks on President Trump since she conceded. Harris gave the keynote address in San Francisco at Emerge America's 20th Anniversary Gala. That's an organization that assists Democratic women in running for office. Harris says that the states are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of America's ideals. She says that she is inspired, though, by the courage of Americans to stand up to the current administration's policies.
They are counting on the notion that if they make some people afraid, it will have a chilling effect on others. But what they're overlooking, what they have overlooked, is that fear is not the only thing that's contagious. Courage is contagious.
President Trump mentioned Harris in a campaign-style rally on Tuesday where he sarcastically called her a great border czar and a great candidate.
Activists are rallying worldwide today to commemorate May Day, also known as International Workers' Day. The annual holiday has been marked by concerns over the Trump administration's policies. Workers in Argentina marched ahead of the day, expressing their concerns about Trump's tariffs. In Japan, some say Trump's policies hung over the day like a shadow, while in Manila, calls were made to improve the Philippines' economy during the tariff wars. Those planning marches in the U.S. say their message is mostly about fighting back against Trump's immigration, federal workers, and diversity program policies.
The community of Chatham, Illinois continues to grieve the 4 victims of a car crash through their after-school program. More than 3,000 people attended a vigil last night at the high school. The district superintendent said the community remains strong even as recovery will take a long time. 2 of the victims of Monday's crash were 7 years old. One was 8. The 4th victim was 18 years old. 6 other children were injured. The driver in the crash, 44-year-old Marianne Akers, is not in police custody this morning. Police say the investigation is ongoing, but it does not appear at this point to have been a targeted attack.
Officials say 11 high school athletes in Syracuse, New York have been released for now. They face charges of unlawful imprisonment for an alleged hazing incident. The district attorney alleges the lacrosse players took 5 younger students into a wooded area. The DA says people came out of the woods wearing black, with some appearing to be armed. The DA says 4 students escaped, but 1 did not. He alleges the suspects put him in a car trunk.
The Trump administration has pledged to expand overdose prevention, but on a leaked preliminary budget proposal, it suggested plans are there to cut about 24 substance abuse prevention and treatment programs. Potential cuts include a $56 million annual grant that helps distribute naloxone kits and trains first responders to use them. Both the White House Office of Budget Management and the Department of Health and Human Services said no final decisions have been made about the upcoming fiscal budget.
Disability rights advocates in Wisconsin say the future of their work is uncertain due to federal health cuts. A leaked document shows the Health and Human Services Department plans to gut its administration for community living. That administration funds disability councils and advocacy agencies in every state.
We are 100% federally funded, so in that memo, DD councils such as ours, which are in every state, would be zeroed out.
The HHS cuts are part of the Trump administration's aim to cut waste, but Sweden says their work saves people money. She says supporting people in their home costs less than half of what it costs to support them in a nursing home. Home care also costs less than 1/10 of a state institution.
The Beloit Fresh Start program will be on hiatus for the 25-26 school year. Community Action Inc. of Rock and Walworth County say the choice is because of uncertainties in funding. The move comes after funding cuts by the Trump administration to AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps runs the Youth Build program that Fresh Start's a part of. The Beloit Fresh Start program supports the community's young people by helping them graduate high school and gaining marketable skills. CAI can't guarantee the program's return, but says alternative resources are being sought.
The Madison Symphony Orchestra is announcing its 2025-26 season schedule. This will be the orchestra's 100th season. To mark the occasion, the orchestra will host 2 centennial opening weekends in September. When the season ends next May, the orchestra will hold a centennial closing weekend festival. That festival will showcase performances from local artists. A full list of featured shows and ticket prices can be found on our website, channel3000.com.
Sounds of summer.
Yes, it's coming real soon. So 100 years, great
Huge
accomplishment.
milestone.
Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, it's the first day of May, and this weekend will feel more May-like than what we're waking up with today. But we do have some heavy showers. We'll talk about those and when they'll move out coming up.
And ahead, your morning sports. Former Badger Sarah Williams has herself a new home. Find out who she's joining for her last season of college basketball.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Madison students making their voices heard at the Overture Center yesterday.
Around 115 middle and high school students from across the Madison School District took part in the Project Soapbox Youth Speech Showcase. The national program provides students with the opportunity to share call-to-action speeches. They perform the speeches in front of an audience made up of their peers and community leaders. Topics can vary from mental health and education to politics and the environment.
This is really a great chance for kids to actually be heard by community partners, by other adults, let alone the ones that come in here and get to meet with their other peers from across schools. But I think just really, how do we raise student voice? I think that's something that we're constantly trying to figure out, and this is really a good opportunity to do that.
Select students from the event will be invited to participate in a showcase featuring Project Soapbox speakers from across the country.
All right, let's take a break. Check in with Savannah Brito and your first one forecast. Hey there.
Hey guys, good morning. We're tracking some heavy rain this morning. We'll show what the radar looks like, but today is the first day of May, recapping April. We were about 1.5 degrees above average. 58.2 is where we topped out our average, 56.9 degrees. It was less active. We did have several days with storms and then also some rain, but 2 and just under 1/4 inch is what we received. We usually see 3 3/4 inch though, but the heavy rain that we're dealing with early this morning is just near Janesville and then getting into portions southeast of Madison, Milwaukee, Kenosha, parts of Walworth County as well, and Jefferson. We will see that continue through at least mid to late morning. I do think we'll start to see those break up a little bit this afternoon, but we're still going to see some fairly scattered showers. The heaviest of the rain across Dane County is basically just west and north of the city of Madison and then east of Cross Plains. That's also getting into areas like Stoughton, but for the most part just south into Rock County and Jefferson County right now. Temperatures will be stagnant. We're waking up right now into the mid to upper 40s, lower 50s. We'll only top out in the lower to mid 50s later, and then those showers completely move out of here later this evening. This is mid-morning, about 7 to 8. Still seeing a lot of rain, and then this afternoon towards lunchtime, I think this pattern is going to start to break up a little bit, but still seeing scattered showers. Overnight then, a few spotty showers, but for the most part, this is not going to lead to any additional rainfall accumulation. We're looking at about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Some areas may see 3/4 inch of rain. And then into early Saturday morning, mostly dry. Can't rule out a couple spotty showers as that low pressure tracks just south of here, but I think that for the most part will be south of here across Janesville, Milwaukee, and then across northern Illinois. But aside of today, tonight, and then Friday night, that's it. We're going to be dry then going forward most of the weekend, definitely by Sunday, and then into early next week, lasting until midweek. It will be dry, minimal rain chances. The weekend forecast looks good. Sunday's looking a lot better than what we're going to see on Saturday. Temperatures will be warmer. We'll see that sunshine return. And then, like I said, active pattern could return by Thursday and Friday, but we're dry at least through Wednesday, midweek next week. I even think into Mother's Day weekend, those 70s are going to stick around. So plenty of days where we will see above average highs. And also look at the lows. Our average low is in the 40s, and we will be near that or even above it as we head closer to the 50-degree mark Monday night, and that'll last all the way into next weekend.
It's been a little over 5 weeks since Wisconsin women's hockey added another national championship to their collection, bringing the grand total to 8. Now, for me, it'd be a summer of celebration, but that's not the case for the returning Badgers. Number 8 is just motivation to go back-to-back and get number 9 next year, because that tradition at Wisconsin is national championship or bust.
I think it's just continuing that legacy and not wanting to give up that national championship. You know, we believe it's ours and we want it to stay here. So I think that's a big motivator, and people might think, you know, just because we had such a good year, we might be more laid back and arrogant, but if anything, we want it even more because we don't want to give it away.
Wisconsin softball back in action, hosting UW Green Bay, and the Badgers wasted no time in this one. Bottom of the first, Hillary Blomberg smacks one right back up the middle for an RBI single. That was part of a 4-run inning for UW, but Blomberg wasn't done. 5th inning now, and the Verona native sends a Blomberg to center. The 3-run shot makes it 7-0. Badgers go on to win 8-0 in Game 1. It also win Game 2. Brewers taking on the White Sox in Game 9 of their 10-game road trip. 8th inning, tied at 3, bases loaded for Jake Bauers, and he's like DoorDash, always delivering. Bauers bounces one to the wall to bring home 2, part of a 3-run inning for the Crew. Brewers get the win, 6-4, the final. And former Badger Sarah Williams has found a new home, joining the reigning national champs UConn for her final year of college basketball. Last season at Wisconsin, she averaged 19 points, nearly 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Williams was named first-team All-Big Ten into the conference's all-defensive team for the 2nd straight season. That's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
You too, Zach. Still ahead, a retired athlete chalks up another win as a pro, and how Guinness World Records is celebrating a milestone.
And coming up in our next half hour, how one Green Bay nonprofit made sure leftovers from the NFL draft didn't go to waste.
Here are your gas prices. We're back after this.
Welcome back. This photo is from Lester. Bluebird.
I'd say.
Yes, take a look there. Up close and personal, getting right up there with it.
We can give Lester the award for the closest, most close-up bird shot we've ever had here on My Morning.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Lester, thank you.
Thank you. All right, trending this morning, got some adorable video to celebrate a milestone for Guinness World Records. They got the world's shortest dog together with the world's tallest dog. Check this out. Reggie, 3'4". And then there's Pearl, just 3.6 inches, small enough to fit in a teacup. So there's a bigger than 3-foot difference between them. Guinness got them together to celebrate its 70th anniversary.
Wait till the teacup comes up. There you go. That's awesome. Love the reference.
So things like the tallest dog scare me because standing up, you're taller than me.
Holy cow,
and that's a problem. That's a problem. But very cute. Very cute.
It's adorable. How do your kids do around dogs? They like dogs?
We don't.
That's a thing they've got to learn when they're little, right?
Yeah. We're a little skeptical. My youngest, she'll say, a dog, a dog, and yeah, that's it. But Milani's like, oh no.
You put a saddle on that big one, right in around.
Literally.
Hey, well, tennis legend Andre Agassi can now add a new line to his resume. Professional pickleballer. The 8-time Grand Slam champion won his professional debut this week, a day after he turned 55. He won the mixed pro division at the U.S. Open Pickleball Championship with that winner right there. He did it alongside his partner, 18-year-old Anna Lee Waters. He's been playing some amateur pickleball, but this is his first time playing on the pro circuit. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pickleball's fun.
It is. It can be fun, and I always see people on the pickleball courts here around town. So
it's taken over the tennis courts.
It's easier than tennis. I can't hit a tennis ball to save my life.
Yeah,
but
tennis
pickleball,
definitely lots of skill.
Yeah.
So I played tennis growing up, and once pickleball got started, I'm like, you're on my tennis court. They're like taking over all the tennis courts and everything. I'm like, it's just lazy tennis.
Well, now you can be a pickleballer.
You don't have to move around that much.
Yeah.
Like tennis, you're all over the place,
I
running
like
around.
pickleball. Badminton's fun too.
Yeah. lots of movement. But yeah, very cool.
Where's the last time you played badminton? Who's got a badminton?
Okay, I used to have a
net in their
badminton net. I
backyard?
made my parents, when I was living with them a couple years ago, buy a net, and my dad hated setting it up, and he actually threw it away.
That was a couple years ago?
Like
I
10
haven't had
years
one
ago.
since I was like
high
8.
school,
I haven't seen
high
a
school.
badminton net in like 20 years.
Yeah, I was like 8
They
years
still
old.
sell them.
just
on
kidding.
Amazon.
That was
Yard
literally
time.
20 years ago. Yeah, when I was 8. Like, yeah.
Hey, it was fun. Did you try it?
Goodness.
It's not a good day to play anything outside today because we're tracking some heavy showers. We'll track those coming up.
This morning, marking 1 year since the Mount Horeb school shooting, how the district is trying to move forward.
Plus, spring is blooming. Why some residents are choosing to keep their lawnmowers stored away a little longer.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We are following some breaking news out of Fitchburg this morning.
Fitchburg, Dane County Dispatch confirming a residential fire. It's at the corner of Endive Drive and Spinach Drive. They say Fitchburg Fire is responding. Dane County Communications says it's an apartment fire. We're unsure of any injuries at this moment or just how severe this is. I believe we have a crew on the way to the scene and we'll report back as soon as we have something.
Well, let's switch gears now and check in with meteorologist Savannah Brito, who's out on the patio this morning. That rain coming down out there.
Yeah, it's still coming down pretty heavy, especially just to our southeast. You can see those heavier showers southeast of Stoughton near Edgerton. All of that active yellow and then dark greens on radar are all the pockets of heavier rain that we're seeing. So everyone pretty much across southern Wisconsin waking up to the heavy rain. Make sure you have an umbrella or something to keep you dry. We'll continue to see these showers move in further from the south to the north, at least until mid to late morning, and even forecasting scattered showers, keeping them in the forecast through the afternoon. Temperatures not bad, but when you're dealing with the rain, it's not the best start to May. It's the 1st of May today. We're in the upper 40s across Dane County, a lot of southern Wisconsin, and as well a couple of 50s, 50 in Prairie du Chien, 50 in Black River Falls, and 52 in La Crosse. We've got 70s in the forecast in the near future. We'll have those details coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you then. Thank you, Savannah. Well, today marks 1 year since the Mount Horeb school shooting. Today, the district plans to acknowledge the strength, unity, and courageous response demonstrated.
On May 1st of last year, law enforcement killed an armed student outside the middle school. He attempted to get into the school, but did not succeed. Officers fired shots multiple times when the student pointed a gun at an officer. Later, investigators found it to be a pellet gun. Classes will be in session today, but district officials say they're working to provide extra support to help students navigate with strength and resilience. Officials say they have been focusing on routine, connection, and care to further enhance physical security and emotional support. Other support includes furry friends from Custom Canine Service Dog Academy and increased law enforcement visibility.
The woman accused of killing her mother in Blue Mounds now has a cash bond of $1 million. Sierra Schoonover is charged with first-degree intentional homicide. She made her first court appearance yesterday. The charges stem from the death of 54-year-old Heather Schoonover. April 14th, police responded to a home on Smoky Mountain Trail for a disturbance and ended up taking Sierra into custody after she crashed her car near Blue Rock Road on State Highway 78. Officers booked her into Dane County Jail Monday night after she was released from the hospital. Her next court date is June 2nd.
The Cottage Grove community is continuing to remember Dr. Cammie Hansen. A car hit and killed her while she was on a walk with her family Monday night. A Facebook post by a Heartland family chiropractor says Dr. Hansen's husband avoided major injuries from the crash. However, their son required surgery. The Chamber of Commerce has partnered with the Cottage Grove Community Foundation to raise money for the family.
It's a small community, and people that are active in the community, people have a tendency to be able to touch one another, their neighbors, friends. Our kids go to school together, and however the family decides to use the funds is entirely up to them.
Dr. Hansen owned Heartland Family Chiropractic and was a member of the Cottage Grove Chamber of Commerce. If you'd like to donate to the family, you can do so at cottagegrovecf.org/donate.
The Madison Police Department's 2024 annual report is out. In total, officers responded to more than 191,000 reports for service last year. That is up almost 7,000 from the year before. As for violent crime, the report shows homicides were down 30% in 2024 compared to 23. Aggravated assault dropped 6%. Robberies dropped 17%. Rape was up, though, 22%. Meanwhile, burglaries were down 48%. Theft was up 1%, and motor vehicle theft was down 50%.
Investigators say they have not been able to determine who leaked a Wisconsin Supreme Court abortion order draft to the press last June. Investigators say it was likely deliberate. The investigation stems from the Urmansky versus Planned Parenthood case, which challenged Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban. Wisconsin Watch published a confidential draft on June 26th. The draft order was not a ruling on the case itself. All 7 justices condemned the breach, calling it a breach of trust the court had not experienced in its history.
In Washington, U.S. senators failed to block President Trump's tariffs. The vote was as close as it can get. Vice President J.D. Vance had to cast the tie-breaking vote. GOP Senator Mitch McConnell and Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse were expected to support the resolution, but they weren't there. The resolution would have effectively blocked President Trump's global tariffs by revoking the emergency order he used to enact them.
The Commerce Department says the nation's GDP shrank by 0.3% during the first 3 months of the year. That's the first time in 3 years. Businesses stepped up imports during the first quarter. It's likely to get ahead of President Trump's tariffs. And when imports exceed exports, that drags down growth. Consumer spending was its weakest since mid-2023.
The bottom line is that the economy is slowing, consumers are not spending as much as they used to, and that's really taking away some of the power away from the economy at the time when tariffs and fears of recessions are starting to increase.
A more comprehensive look at the labor market since President Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement on April 2nd will come tomorrow. That's when the Labor Department releases its monthly jobs report for April.
Stocks trying to bounce back from yesterday's losses. Dow futures are up this morning 285 points, or about 0.7%. S&P futures are up over 1%, and NASDAQ futures are up more than 1.5%. The gains today are primarily because of earnings beats from Microsoft and Meta.
The U.S. is signing a deal to create the United States-Ukraine Reconstruction Investment Fund. The deal will grant the U.S. rights to Ukrainian rare earth minerals. The signing concludes months of tense negotiations on security assurances and military support for Ukraine. This comes as the administration works to broker a peace deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine. The signing comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with President Trump at the Vatican. There, they discussed the war with Russia.
A look at the housing market now. Year over year, Wisconsin home sales fell more than 10% in March. The supply of homes remains low, and that's pushing the median price of a home here in the state up. They're up 7.3% year to year to over $300,000 now. High mortgage rates and economic uncertainty are holding back both buyers and sellers, but new home construction is expected to rise because of limited existing inventory.
2 new homes are move-in ready on Madison's southwest side. The City of Madison, the Madison Area Community Land Trust, and Wisconsin Partnership worked together to bring the 2 homes off the ground. Mayor Satya Rose Conway says the 2 houses are the final puzzle pieces to complete the Mosaic Ridge Development Project.
It's part of our work to make sure that people in our community have the choices that they need to live in the neighborhoods that they want to live in and in the type of housing that they want to live in. It does require subsidy to provide affordable homeownership opportunities in Madison.
To see if you qualify for affordable housing or learn more about home ownership resources, you can visit our website, channel3000.com.
May marks Mental Health Awareness Month. Dane County Executive Melissa Agard is highlighting the importance of mental well-being. She says mental health is fundamental to overall health. It's time we treat it that way. Dane County Department of Human Services offers a wide range of services, including counseling, medication management, crisis intervention, and residential services. All these are free community services.
Public Health Madison Dane County is seeking information about a dog that bit a person. PHMDC says it happened Tuesday morning on the green space on Sugar Maple Lane. The victim spotted a stray dog and began petting it. The dog is described as a mixed breed with a short curly coat and floppy ears. No owners were seen in the area.
No Mow May is back in Verona. It's a movement to help out pollinators and early flowering grasses by letting your lawn grow. The city of Verona says it doesn't enforce the length of lawns and grasses until June 1st. So if you're participating this season, don't forget to swing by Verona City Hall and pick up your free yard sign.
Let's take a look at Lambeau Field this morning as cleanup from the NFL draft wraps up. After the draft, there was a lot of food left over, but one Green Bay nonprofit made sure it got back to the community. Rooted in Inc. donated more than 3 tons of food to 13 shelters and nonprofit programs around Green Bay. And the goodwill doesn't stop there. The Packers Green Team is reclaiming and repurposing materials like wood, fencing, and flagpoles to reduce waste from the event. Some will be donated to the Packers Hall of Fame. Other materials will be used by Habitat for Humanity and the American Red Cross. It is all part of an effort to make sporting events greener and more sustainable. So all around, great job to Green Bay. All that leftover food going to the community and the materials going to good causes.
I love that. You think about, how do you... They had so many people there.
Yes.
Everybody's got to get fed. You get all these materials and everything that go into making sure you can host everybody. And now the leftovers go into a great cause.
Yes, not going to waste.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Well, let's check in with Savannah. What's coming up?
Well, guys, we're dealing with some heavy, widespread rain across most of the area this morning, and today will be cooler, but we have a warm-up to talk about.
Also ahead, how Green Bay is honoring Bart Starr and his wife.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
This morning, Oklahoma is seeing severe flooding that's overtaken parts of towns and forced residents from their homes. Rescue efforts are underway right now. And then there's this. One person is dead after they drove around a barrier that was up for the flooding. The car was swept away. A responding sheriff's deputy who attempted to save the man also became trapped after getting caught in a powerful current. Reminder to turn around, don't drown. This is what we tell people over and over again this time of year. When we see flooding, it can happen just about anywhere this time of year.
Yep, barricades are up for your safety. If you cross those, you're not only putting yourself at risk, but also people that are trying to attempt to rescue or save you at risk too. So never ever go across those barricades. They're up for your safety. We are forecasting some pretty heavy widespread showers. We're not going to expect any flooding here though. We're at 48 right now, lots of rain. Also visibilities are down. We have lower visibilities because of the heavy rain. Stagnant temperatures though, we actually will see a brief break in the showers. I do think scattered showers will take us all the way into lunchtime too, and then more rain is in the forecast tonight. Over the last 3 hours, we've seen that heaviest rain that was sitting across northern Illinois make its way further north into southern Wisconsin, and that's what we're seeing right now. So all the yellows near Monroe, also by Kenosha and Milwaukee, that's all the heaviest of the rain. Also expecting that to continue into Platteville and Grant County too. Dane County specifically, the very heavy showers are just south of Fitchburg and just southeast of Belleville. That's all going to continue to move north though, so definitely have an umbrella handy for the rest of the day. Like I said, low visibilities as a result of the heavy rain too. Mineral Point's down to 2.5 miles, Monroe's at 2, along with Janesville. We're at 7 in Madison, 9 in Lone Rock, and then full visibility in Watoma and up in Black River Falls, but those areas are furthest north that haven't seen the heaviest rain yet, but that'll be a different story as we get closer to mid and late morning. Scattered showers to the afternoon. They'll start to break up by the evening though. That'll be the warmest part of the day with temperatures only reaching the lower to mid 50s, so stagnant through the rest of the day. Warmer temperatures will continue to take place then or return to the forecast tomorrow and then especially into the weekend. Tonight, a couple of spotty showers can't be ruled out. Most are going to stay dry, and that'll be a similar story again Friday night into early Saturday before we see the sunshine return. And that for the most part, again, being south of Madison and more so across northern Illinois for that early Saturday morning forecast. And then everyone will see that sunshine. That'll carry over into Sunday and even next week too. Over the next 24 hours, most of us are looking at least 1/4 of an inch, some areas 1/2 inch to even 3/4 of an inch. That's for everyone pretty much across southern Wisconsin. Our latest drought monitor will come out later today, but southern Dane County is still included in abnormally dry conditions. That's the yellow color, Janesville, Boscobel, Viroqua, and then south of La Crosse. But Platteville, south of Mineral Point, and Monroe still are sitting in a moderate drought, but I do think the rain will continue to hold or see gradual impacts with that next week anyways. And then we did see a little bit of rain the last couple of days, but I don't think that's going to make much of a dent or impact in that. And then we've got the warmer temperatures this weekend. Sunday looks like the better day, more sunshine, and highs closer to 70, and then we'll be well into the 70s by Tuesday next week.
So nice.
that Sunday is the best day.
First full week of May. Yeah, for your birthday.
Yeah, just
You're
ironic
welcome.
that it's one of the best
days. It was
days.
me that did that.
That you did it. You just waved your wand and made it happen
Made it
for
happen.
me.
Yeah.
I mean,
you couldn't ask for a better
yes, I
day,
couldn't
right?
ask for more. Like a
In
better
early
friend.
May.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad to see some more consistency in the forecast.
Me too.
Hopefully, can change that wardrobe out real soon.
Yeah, summer's almost here. Meteorological summer, just a month away now.
Oh, wow, coming fast.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Savannah. Hey, we're looking for some Plan My Day videos. If you want to send one our way, we'd appreciate it. All you have to do is record a video of yourself and whoever. Say your name, where you're at, and then we'll send you a customized forecast. Upload it on the Facebook Messenger app or email, the weather app, all sorts of different ways. You can even email it to us, and then watch to see if you make it on the air. A new Intuit survey revealing a wave of financial stress among Gen Z and millennials. 69% of those surveyed say long-term planning is out of reach. 98% blame the cost of living. The survey shows many are delaying major life plans, with nearly 50% delaying travel, 30% postponing home ownership. 4 in 10 Gen Zers are moving back home with their family.
A new elementary school in Green Bay is honoring the legacy left behind by Packer legend Bart Starr and his wife Cherry. Paul Stino has more.
When this pile of dirt eventually becomes the Green Bay Area Public School District's new West Side Elementary School, it'll be named after a pair of Green Bay legends.
And my goodness, Green Bay just had the most amazing draft in history. Now we get this news about the school. I'm thinking, could it get any better? It's just phenomenal. They would be over the moon.
The district will build the future Star Elementary School on the current site of Kennedy Elementary. Monday night at their school board meeting, board members choosing a name that would honor both Bart and Cherry Starr, rather than just calling it Bart Starr Elementary.
When I think about Bart Starr, and I think about what we know about him, the kind of person that he is such a respectful, such an honorable, such a kind person that I can't help but believe that he would be delighted that his wife in some way would have the opportunity to be included.
Star Elementary School, like the Super Bowls he won as a Packer, it has a nice ring to it, honoring a Packers legend and his better half, whose impact on the city was immeasurable, both on and off the gridiron.
They'll say, your parents meant a lot to the Green Bay community, but I always remind them that they liked to look at it from the other angle as well, which was that Green Bay inspired them to be their best.
And in other news this morning, the Henry Vilas Zoo recently welcomed 2 new members to its family, and you can meet them this weekend. The zoo announced 2 North American river otter pups, Ginger and Wasabi, were born in February to mother Elva and father Dragonroll. Ginger and Wasabi will make their debut on Saturday during the zoo's annual Party for the Planet. The free event will see volunteers from Dane County Regional Arborist Group help kids safely climb into some of the trees around the zoo so they can view the area from a new perspective.
All right, May 3rd, Saturday.
It's coming.
Weather's looking pretty nice.
Yes, get out to the zoo, free event. And of course, the zoo entry is always free. So there's that.
Those squeaks are so cute.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. Nice addition to the zoo.
Yeah.
Well, coming up in the morning sprint, how robots may soon be able to shop for you.
Okay, if you got a little kid turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. The sprint's next. .6:53, time for the morning sprint.
Today marks 1 year since officers killed an armed student outside of Mount Horeb Middle School. Classes will be in session today. The district is planning to acknowledge the strength, unity, and courageous response demonstrated. Last May, officers fired when the student aimed a gun at an officer. Later, investigators found it to be a pellet gun.
We're following this morning, 40-year-old Gary Day will appear in court. He faces several felony charges for allegedly taking teenager Sophia Franklin out of Wisconsin. Day's bond is set at $2 million. Franklin was found 2 months after she was last seen. Day is suspected to be the father of Franklin's unborn child.
A judge set a $1 million cash bond for the woman accused of killing her mother in Blue Mounds. Sierra Schoonover is charged with first-degree intentional homicide. She made her first court appearance yesterday. The charges stem from the death of 54-year-old Heather Schoonover. Sierra's next court appearance is June 2nd.
Police in Florida arresting a man allegedly who communicated with the Abundant Life school shooter. Federal investigators say Damian Allen conspired with others online to commit mass violence. After searching his home, deputies in Palm Beach County found police uniforms 18 firearms, grenades, and more than 12,000 rounds of ammunition.
Just in case you weren't spending enough money, now robots can do it for you. Visa and MasterCard announced they are enabling artificial intelligence to find and buy products for its customers. Consumers can still set guardrails and preferences, but both MasterCard and Visa say their AI can select items and make online purchases by themselves. And that's not all. Amazon is also testing its own AI shopping agent.
Commerce Department says the nation's gross domestic product shrank by 0.3% during the first 3 months of the year. It's the first time that's happened in 3 years. Businesses stepped up imports during the first quarter. It's likely to get ahead of President Trump's tariffs. When imports exceed exports, that drags down growth.
Time is running out to secure a real ID. The deadline is May 7th. If by that deadline you don't have a real ID or another form like a passport, you could face delays at airport security. There is no additional fee to get a real ID when you renew your driver's license. If you're upgrading outside of driver's license renewal, you will have to pay the $14 replacement or duplicate fee.
The Beloit Fresh Start program will be on hiatus for the 25-26 school year. The move comes after funding cuts by the Trump administration to AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps runs the Youth Build program that's Fresh Start is a part of. The Beloit Fresh Start program supports the community's young people by helping them graduate high school and gain marketable skills.
Well, widespread heavy showers still affecting most of southern Wisconsin. We're not forecasting any storms for the day, but that will continue mid to late morning, and then even scattered showers will take us to the afternoon. Highs are going to be stagnant, lower to mid 50s at best, closer to 60 tomorrow. This weekend looks good, and then lots of 70s and even lows that are going to be near 50. So next week, a lot better.
Yes, things looking good. Finally, evening out up there.
Yes.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
Keep it here. We're back with news and weather update in 30 minutes.